But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul.
Yeah. Loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet.
Fixing the fights. It's not fair. It's an embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men.
Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back in criticizing Jake Paul, calling out a pattern of questionable matchmaking. Furious, he accused Jake of consistently choosing much older opponents, suggesting these fights are potentially rigged, referencing Jake's upcoming bout with 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Smith labeled it dangerous and unethical. He alleged that Jake lures Asian fighters in.
These are the kind of things that I'm talking about here. Boxing's a skill. Let me give y'all an example. Remember Francis Ngannou? Remember that monster? That Nigerian nightmare? Remember him? And then we saw him show up and show a little skill against Tyson Fury, who came there out of shape. What happened when he got into the ring with Anthony Joshua? He got put to sleep much in the same way Nate Robinson got put to sleep. Boxing is a skill. Jake Paul is a professional. He trains. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Beterbiev, Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation.
Confusion spread during the 7th round of Jake Paul's fight with Julio César Chavez Jr. When online platforms prematurely showed Jake as the winner, fans quickly questioned how an outcome could be posted before the final bell. The incident sparked fresh doubts about the fight's integrity, reinforcing suspicions of prearranged results and adding fuel to long-standing.
As you are watching this video, Jake Paul and Julio César Chavez are currently right now in the 7th round of their fight. But when you go to Google and Google the fight, it gives an accurate breakdown of all their past fights. And then it comes to the current fight and it says that Julio César Chavez Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet. Yet they're saying that this is the end results as they are fighting right now, currently as it stands. This leans testament to the fact that people state that Jake Paul has his fights fixed. What's your thoughts on this? This is nasty work. Unbelievable. This is Google. Google it yourself. Peace.
Fans struggled to understand Julio César Chavez Jr.'s unusually passive performance. For most of the fight, he showed little aggression, appearing almost static. A stark contrast to his past reputation, his late surge in the final round seemed more like an attempt to avoid embarrassment than a genuine effort to win. Many began referring to Jake as fake Paul, implying that the fight lacked real resistance and
Under 40 in 6 months. And he's been off the El Chapitos. He's been off the El Mayo Zambada up his nose. So he's probably more like 48 adjusted. A 48-year-old man. Okay. There's numerous angles here, right? Was he paid not to throw punches? That's possible. Is he just 48 in La Coca years? That's also possible. What we know for a fact is fake Paul's useless, honestly. He's proper useless. Chavez like this, just standing there. No pace. In the last few rounds he had a little bit of pace. Even then, fake Paul just clings on though. Fake Paul's, I've been saying this, fake Paul's got no inside at all. He's got no stand and let's have a look. Let's work here if he's coming at me. He clings on for dear life. He kind of pushes his punches out. Slap, slap, slap. No, all this talk of power. These dudes, Chavez actually, he looked a bit smaller than fake Paul. Fake Paul's not a cruiserweight. He's a light heavyweight, honestly. He's so soft. He's got like these big rubber dingy arms. Big rubber, soft. Not Chavez looked more like an athlete. But that'll be on, well, is Jake Paul going to fight anyone? They're already walking back the Zurdo situation. Oh, Zurdo don't sell. Well, we knew Zurdo didn't sell.
Fans took to Twitter and other platforms to express their skepticism. Many questioned why Julio barely threw punches for 8 rounds. only to suddenly come alive in the last two. One user tweeted, "Jake Paul fight clearly rigged, no way. Real boxer sits there barely throwing punches and suddenly looks fresh at the end." The rise of spectacle-driven matchups involving influencers has brought attention, but traditional boxing fans argue that it undermines the sport's credibility.
You felt like boxing's pretty rigged overall.
Yes, Rick, dude. I mean, so many politics, even with, MMA, man, there's so many politics. There's no more art anymore. It's just, let's get an influencer in there. I get it. It's like generating money because our attention span is so short. You look at clips now, it's like 7 seconds. I saw a dude slamming a lady the other day and they were like, "Oh my God, that dude is," I'm like, well, what the do? I'm just going to pick somebody and slam them. Where's the whole video? And our attention span is just so small. So money talks, of course. Yeah, let's get an influencer in there who has no style, but it draws attention. It's just dumb to me.
Some believe the issue wasn't rigging, but a lack of preparation, with Julio landing just 13 punches across the entire fight. Critics say he treated the event as an easy paycheck. To them, it wasn't fixed. It was phoned in. Many argue that Julio's father, the legendary Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., should have stepped in to protect the family legacy from what many view as a
results. A couple of shocking results. I think that Jake Paul undercards and the promotional arm of his brand, I think, is the most fun part of what Jake Paul brings to boxing. Honestly, I think long term, I think that's what we can hold hope for. Because Jake's fights are, this one was borderline atrocious, and kind of the writing was on the wall. But I gotta admit, even I bought drank the Kool-Aid, and mainly I drank the Kool-Aid because Chavez Sr., who also is disgraceful for doing this, made me believe, and I think, this has been the problem with Chavez Jr. He's been enabled constantly by the media, the promoters, his family, and all this other stuff. So he never really shows up prepared. He never cares and just shows up to get paid and basically steals the bag every single time. And he did it tonight again. The reason I actually thought this fight had a chance was because Chavez Sr. Guaranteed us that his son was motivated and was having a training camp. So, as much of a Hall of Fame career as a father had, he's the con artist, I guess, must run in the family, because Junior has been a con artist his whole career, but at least he's been enabled through it, But now the father doing this, I mean, you knew already your son wasn't going to be ready. You put your own reputation on the line and sold us this crap. And then ultimately your son throws what most guys will throw in a round. He throws it through 10 rounds. It was actually kind of really insane.
Jake Paul has strongly denied all accusations of fixing fights, particularly regarding the much-hyped match against Mike Tyson. He claims these rumors are rooted in jealousy and an unwillingness to acknowledge his growth as a fighter. Yet, with many of his opponents being retired or inactive fighters, the public remains skeptical. The Tyson matchup has only intensified scrutiny around Jake's boxing legitimacy.
After I beat Mike Tyson, the amount of people saying this is rigged was crazy. They showed this clip of Mike Tyson going to swing at me with a left hook, and he stopped doing it, but saw I had my right hand up. So he would have swung like this. I catch it and shoot. He's leaning forward I could have knocked him out. So that's why he stopped throwing it. And it's they play this one clip and it has literally 50 million views on TikTok, but the average person doesn't understand boxing.
Olympian and boxing coach Tony Jeff added a nuanced view, suggesting that while Jake's opponents haven't been top tier, that doesn't necessarily mean his wins were fake. Jeff believes critics are quick to cry foul when they don't want to give Jake credit. However, he didn't entirely endorse Jake's boxing skill.
You might be raging and saying, but he's fixing the fights. It's not fair. It's an embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men. Well, is it a fix? No, mate. It's not a fix. Is Julio Cesar Chavez past his best? Yes. Was Mike Tyson past his best? Absolutely, mate. Now, if you look at all of the great fighters, look at all of the records, and you can go on BoxRec and see this, you'll see that they are fighting either one of two people. Either a person who's a journeyman who's coming in there just to lose and give the fighter their experience, or they'll be fighting someone who might have been a former champion who is now past it. And finding these right opponents is key for the development of any fighter, not just someone like Jake Paul, but any fighter. Now, with Jake, because he's got so much attention on him, people are seeing this. Whereas normally fighters are not even live on TV until they've had X amount of fights. If you look at someone like Floyd Mayweather, look, we fought in his 4th pro fight, or even his 10th pro fight. Some of these fights will not be on TV. And now Jake is on TV and he's fighting former world champions, which he's fought a few now. I think everyone should give him respect now as a fighter. Fighting someone like that and putting so much pressure on himself as well. Now, do I think that fight and other fights was rigged? Absolutely not. I think that Jake is very smart. He's picking the right fights, but at the same time, he's developed as a very good fighter now. There's no denying that he is a very good fighter now. Yes, he did lose that one fight to Tommy Fury by, was it a split decision?
Despite heavy backlash, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. insists he's still an active boxer, calling the Jake Paul fight a mere setback, but fans aren't buying it. After such a lackluster showing, many question his motivation and preparedness. Critics argue that his response lacks accountability and sets a poor example for aspiring fighters who once looked up to him.
Well, what was difficult to do in the fight tonight that you wanted to do, but you couldn't?
Our confidence, first round, and come forward. I think when I'm like back, it's not good for me. So if I'm fighting like again, like I learn this. So take the punches, but come forward and try to be more inside, because when I see him inside, his punches don't have the same power. So I think I doing a big mistake in these things, like right a distance.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna ask. I kept asking myself, why isn't he working on the inside, throwing body shots, hook, upper, you know?
Yes. So maybe more fights, a little more confidence. I need it, like more confidence.
This isn't Jake Paul's first fight to be labeled as staged. His history of picking older or lower tier opponents, securing easy wins, and attracting massive media coverage has formed a recurring pattern. The Tyson bout has only fueled these suspicions, with many already dismissing it as a marketing stunt rather than a legitimate sporting contest.
More important and quite serious news in the combat sports world. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, it's come out now. It was rigged. I can't believe it. You know, you have to question the validity of boxing these days when you can't trust two professionals to get in the ring and do their best against each other. And instead you find out Mike Tyson pulling his punches, not trying to hurt Jake Paul. Absolute disgrace. I thought better of them.
Allegations surrounding the Tyson fight include rumors of pre-written scripts that dictated how both fighters should act in the ring, from controlled punches to staged moments. Some reports even suggested Tyson could face financial penalties if he knocked Jake out too early. If true, these claims point to a fight designed to protect Jake.
Y'all already know I'm mad about this fight. I really wasn't even going to talk about it because I already felt like it was a setup. But when Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, it really just confirmed and solidified everything. So, Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, and I'm going to read it to social media. So, it says the rules for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight are designed to favor Jake Paul. These include: the rules are extremely favorable to Jake Paul. The contract will incentivize Mike Tyson to lose and give Jake Paul an opportunity to choose himself as a winner. The first stipulation in the contract will punish Tyson for knocking out Jake because he is paid on a sliding scale per round. If Tyson knocks Jake out in the first round, he would receive no money. If he knocks him out in the second round, he would only make a small amount of cash. For Tyson to make the most money, he needs to survive all 8 rounds, which means avoiding knocking Jake Paul out. If the fight goes to a split decision, it favors Jake Paul because the judges have to be approved by Jake Paul. I'll let y'all read that.
Allegations suggest Jake Paul doesn't just pay opponents to show up. He pays them to not outshine him. These claims stem from repeated patterns, low punch counts, no knockouts, and strange endings. After beating Chavez Jr., Jake was suddenly ranked in the cruiserweight top 15, a move that shocked fans, considering the lack of resistance he faced. Critics see this as more of a publicity win than a boxing milestone.
Then you want us to respect Jake Paul as a fighter, but how you want me to respect this man as a boxer and he basically pays his opponents to lose? The culture didn't want to see that. All the 80s babies and people born in earlier time did not want to see that fight. And I think if I knew these rules, which I believe these rules make a lot of sense to why Mike Tyson really didn't fuck him up. And it's like, why do you think people want to continue to watch a Jake Paul fight when every time it's going to always be in his favor because people are paid to lose? Nah, respectfully, that's not real boxing. That's not real fighting. I'm sorry. And I know for Tyson, he's retired anyway. He's still the champ. This fight didn't mean anything, but it meant everything for Mike Tyson fans. And I'm just like, I'm disappointed. And I wasn't even going to come on social media. But like I said, once I saw Trick Daddy post that, I was like...
Observers noticed Julio's body language and effort seemed unnatural. His 13 punches were weak, delayed, and lacked focus, as if he was acting out a role rather than actually competing. Strange behavior, like biting his gloves, further raised suspicions. While some defend Jake and believe his performance was legitimate, others see these patterns as blurring the line between a real fight and staged entertainment. Despite the backlash, some, like Adam Smith, argue that Jake's rise from YouTuber. The headline boxer is groundbreaking. Love him or hate him. Jake Paul has redefined what it means to build a boxing brand in today's influencer era.
I mean, if he does, it's going to be one of the great stories of this generation, isn't it? They start off as YouTubers, as influencers. I love working with Logan Paul and KSI when we did that fight together. It was the sort of start of it. My kids love what they've done, the whole Misfits thing. Look, yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm a hardcore boxing fan, and that European title fight doesn't get any better. But Jake Paul has millions and millions of followers.